So your life, can be a bit of a dumpster fire, and you might not even know it at times. And this is something that I've come to realize here recently is that, let me fix this, is that none of us are going to get through this life unscathed. And you're probably just guessing like, dude, you're looking like in your older 30s, and you're just now realizing that. Like, look, it's something that I didn't want to admit because I would keep pushing myself. Because here, at least in America, I don't know where you're from, but it's something called hustle culture, where you're trying to push yourself really hard. And it wasn't until I became a dad when I realized that I wanted to do more with my life, and I really understood how important finances are. Because if you have kids, then you totally understand that it can be very, very expensive. And I would see all of these people in these groups that I would be joining getting these massive wins and things like that, and I would still be stuck behind. But it was mainly because of my mindset. I kept telling myself that I am not going to get very far. And when you give power to those thoughts, that literally becomes your tripped on this fancy custom degrading porch. That literally gives power to those negative thoughts. And it's crazy. Even in the book of James, for example, when you truly get into the scriptures and start digging in their roots and their meanings, the Bible here in America is especially watered down, unfortunately, and things have been taken out. And now, for those of you that are like Bible bashers, I'm like, no, the whole Bible, I believe, is just the whole Word of God. The inspired Word of God. And and it's just so crazy. So many Christians don't even believe it. They believe it's a fairy tale. And there's so much evidence. Like, I would even say weekly, if not monthly, that is being shown, that is proving the Bible is real. We are in a spiritual war. And man, if you are having a really hard day, just know that these people don't hate you. They hate the Jesus. And he said, remember, before they hate you, they've hated me first. So you've got to just understand that, yeah, you're human. You will mess up. You will make mistakes, but it's just part of the process. And whenever you draw closer to God, He will draw closer to you, because He's not going to force you to love Him. That's why He gave us free will. But I don't want to talk a whole lot about that right now. Mainly, I just want to tell you where I'm at and how you can overcome certain situations like this, because I've always been one to encourage and help and push others. But in terms of myself, I haven't really paid much attention to myself again until I had kids. And this is, my 5-year-old, so I'm experienced at having kids up to 5. And even before that, I work with youth. But there's so many men who need to be leaders to these kids. And it's unfortunate, like parents, so many parents nowadays, they are not leaders to their children. Because when you listen to your kids' wants and needs, it's literally going to fill that hole that might be residing in your heart. Now, I'm not saying it's going to fill that whole but it's going to help you feel better and less stressed. And when you actually get down on the ground, on the floor, wherever, and just play with your kids, man, just hang out, enjoy the moment of where they're currently at. Because I was just talking to my wife the other day, man, and looking at pictures and old videos. That was, man, like a few months ago, and my son has already grown so freaking much since then. He's 5, and he's like 7 foot tall. Okay, no, he's not a giant, but it's just crazy how fast they grow. And you need to understand that whenever you're trying to do something for yourself and to really push yourself to achieve certain things, that you need to start talking to yourself in a different kind of way. And that can be something as simple as just looking at yourself in the mirror. Mel Robbins came up with this, but it's called the 5-minute rule or something, where you just high five your reflection in the mirror. And now you don't do that for 5 whole minutes, but you talk yourself up for about 5 minutes in the mirror, and then you high five yourself right after. And I think that was her breakthrough moment, doing that. And now I'm also not saying, I don't want you to, go follow all these self-help gurus, because like these self-help people, like a vast majority of them, they're not Christian. And I'm not saying that God can't use what they know and what they've been through to honor and glorify Him, But make sure that if you're talking like sharing certain messages, sorry, let me clean my camera. That it lines up with the Bible, because there's so much New Age now. New Age isn't anything new. It's been around for a very long time, but you need to be careful in these practices that you invite in, because they might be dressed up all pretty on the surface, but their core root is demonic, and it's self-fulfilling. Like, that's why we need God to give us that discernment, and you spend time with Him every morning. I'm not talking about like 30 hours in the morning. I'm talking about just a few minutes. If that's all you can do right now in your life, just give Him just a few minutes, and you'd be surprised in how much that can help. Also, this is something that is huge. If you were to really look into this, there's a lady, Elisa, I forgot her last name. It's definitely not the fart sound. But she came out with a book that covers frequencies. And there is, and you can look all over the world with all these different cultures. Frequencies impact the society and the culture and everything. And here in America, there is so much noise because we have all these radio towers and things like that, and cell phone towers, and it literally disrupts our natural frequency the way God designed us. And because of that, we fall back into doing bad things. And it's because our frequency isn't aligned with our natural frequency that God has given us. And it's being scrambled all the time. I know it's 444 and 528 are the frequencies that you need to listen to. And they're literally uplifting. Because if you listen to rap music and things like that, that's toxic. That doesn't lift up anybody. It could even be like country music or something, but it's they do have like a web app or something. I'm sure they have it for phone too. But if you were to listen to it in those two frequencies that I mentioned, my wingy dingy fell over. Wingy dingy. I love coming up with new words. That's one of the perks as a dad. I can come up with like my own vocabulary, and my kids will be like, yeah, they'll totally agree with me, and I'm like, yes, I finally feel excited. No, I'm just kidding. Not always like that, but yeah, it's very important that you start to just listen to your frequencies. Now, I don't know if you can hear all the things outside right now, but it's early in the morning, and this is the time I highly recommend getting up. If you are working a third shift job, just push yourself a little bit harder to enjoy your mornings once you get off work. Go to a quiet place. Luckily, I have a little bit of land that I can walk around on. I used to push mow this for years. Push mow. And I didn't get a self-propelling push mower until like year 2. So this would take me hours and hours to mow. And I'm talking, and let me tell you that now if you want to work on perseverance, you should go you should go mow a yard that's several acres big. That'll definitely work on your perseverance. But alright, bro, I need to get inside and start finishing up some things. But I want you to go out and make today a great day. Because God, He made these days for us, and He made this day for you to conquer. Now, whatever you might be going through, you might have to just shut up and be still and listen to your surroundings. Be present-minded. So I also live out in the country. We have guys just riding lawnmowers around the streets. But everybody needs a hobby. All right, bro. Talk to you later. See ya.